Here you see the schedule. Today we start with a technical meeting. Tomorrow we will have 4 rounds of the round robin rapid tournament. We're starting at 1 p.m. and then every 90 minutes we have a match, and on Saturday we're starting again at, this seems to be not correct, we're starting at 1 p.m. and then 2:30 and 4 p.m. This is a really tight schedule, and if games take 80 moves or longer, we might have to move some of the rounds a little bit back. So for 60 to 70 moves it will be fine, but for more than 80 moves we will have to move the rounds. On Sunday we will start the knockout phase. The rounds start at 1 p.m. The first day there's one game, the second day is the second game, and if there is a 1-1, there are tie breaks after the second game. And we have the same setup also for the semi-final and the final, and the closing ceremony will be next Friday at 6 p.m. The schedule for a single round, for a single day. So we expect you to be in the tournament hall at least 15 minutes prior to the start. Then you have a seat here in the first row to watch the ceremony, where we will have the drawing of lots for the freestyle version that will be played at this day. We have decided that after the freestyle version has been determined that there should be no discussion between the players. You can use during the time your booth and you can sit at the board, but there should be no discussions.
Yeah, excuse me, I think there has been an alteration.
Yeah. Okay. So that's exactly that's. Take over the thing. We had this is like we are breaking ground. We are making everything new, and it's completely. So yesterday we had a nice dinner with the group that arrived, and we had a discussion exactly about that point. What can the players do between announcement of the setup and the beginning of the game, which is 10 minutes? And so then we all agreed, including Magnus and everybody who was there, that we want, in addition, so the players can either go to their booth and chill, go to their table and make themselves familiar with the board, or gather on one side or the other, or the white players with white on one side, or the players with black on the other side, and they can discuss amongst each other. We're going to have this with a microphone, so that then Tanya and Peter upstairs can comment on that, what you are discussing. So that is a little bit more exciting. So, but you have option. You can do it, you cannot do it, but that's the third option to do it.
Okay, that's for sure fine. So we will then select one of the rooms for the white players and one for the black players, where the discussion then can happen. So, of course, you're all familiar with the rules of freestyle chess, but nevertheless, I want to point out some special things that I have marked in yellow in the guidelines 2 of the FIDE rules of chess. We have the rules for this chess 960, and just the starting position. The king has to be placed between the 2 rooks, the bishops are placed on opposite colored squares, and the black pieces are placed the same way as the white pieces. A little bit more different from standard chess is the castling. So there can be a double move castling as in standard chess, where you move the king and you move the rook. There can also be a transposing castling, where king and rook change their places, and it's also possible, depending on the selected version, that you have only to move the king or only to move the rook to complete castling. The general rule for castling, that the final position of castling is the same as in standard chess. So if you're castling on usually queen side or on c side, as it is named in chess 960, you place the king to c1 and the rook to d1, and if you do a g side castling, you place the king to g1 and the rook to f1. But there can also be some situations. For example, the king is initially placed on f1 and the rook is placed on h1. So if you want to make a king move to g1, you have 2 options. You can either move the king to g1 and then do nothing else, or you put the king to g1 and then move the rook to f1 to complete castling. And to avoid confusions for the opponent, the FIDE laws of chess suggest the following recommendation. So first of all, if you want to castle, you take your king and place it next to the target field outside the board. So maybe a little bit lower than g1. Then you make your move with a rook. For example, put the rook to f1, and then you finalize the castling by putting the king to g1. This is the recommendation of the FIDE laws of chess, just to avoid any confusion what move are you intend to do. It's also allowed, and this is written in this paragraph, that you just tell your opponent that you are now want to castle the king. I think it's not that complicated, and as you are all friends, as I got told, we should have no issues with this. Yeah, the next 2 days, as mentioned already, we play a round-robin tournament to determine the pairings for the following knockout phase. The rate of play for this round-robin tournament is 25 minutes, plus 10 seconds per move, according to a 5 FIDE laws of chess. In case of same points between the players, we have 3 tiebreak steps. The first is the direct encounter, the second one is the number of wins, and the third one is the Solomon-Berger regulations. In the knockout phase, we play 90 minutes for 40 moves, plus 30 minutes to finish, and from move 41, there will be an increment of 30 seconds per move. Regarding recording of the moves during the first phase, you need to record the moves until you have less than 5 minutes, then you can stop recording the moves. In the second phase, where you get an increment of 30 seconds per move, you need to record the moves at any time during the game. To realize this rate of play, the move counter of the electronic chess clocks have to be switched on. That means you get the additional 30 minutes when the chess clock has counted 40 moves. So if there's, per accident, you have to press the chess clock more often than you have moved, then you will get the 30 minutes earlier. If you forgot for one move to press the chess clock on both sides, you will get the 30 minutes later. Nevertheless, the player is responsible for completing 40 moves in 90 minutes. So if an accident happens, we can also correct the move counter. If you tell me, then I will correct the move counter that we are in sync with a played game. If we have, after the 2 games, a 1-1, then we will play 2 rapid games with 15 minutes for the game and 10 seconds per move. If this ends still 1-1, then we will have 2 blitz games with 5 minutes for the game plus 2 seconds per move. And if it is also ending 1-1, then we play an Armageddon match. Yesterday evening we had also some discussions how this Armageddon match should take place. And at the end we decided that white will always get 5 minutes. Bit will then decide who gets black.
Is it a secret beat or?
It's a secret beat, so both will hand me or Sebastian a sheet of paper where you have your bid, and if one bids 4 minutes, the other bids 3 minutes 58 seconds, then the guy with 3 minutes 58 seconds will get the black color.
So the person who bids lower decides?
The person, no, he does not decide, he gets black.
Ah, okay.
So if you offer for black 3 minutes, then you have to take black.
Okay.
Then, otherwise you can say, okay, 10 seconds, but give him the 10 seconds. Okay, so we agreed that there's no default time, but I think you all will be in time for the round, but we do not specify a specific default time, so there's no penalty if a player, for whatever reason, will be late. For the knockout phase, we have this schema. So for the quarterfinal, the number 1 of the round-robin tournament plays against the number 8 of the round-robin tournament, and as you see, the following games. And the player with a higher ranking in round-robin tournament has black pieces in the first match. This is also something we might discuss. If you say it would be better that a higher ranker would have white, I asked Sebastian what would he prefer in a knockout match, having first black or white. He said black. Okay, then
I think it would make sense for the higher rated to choose which color he wants to play. It make more sense.
are you fine with this because of setup of?
Yeah, the idea is also that we can make a setup before. Yeah, okay, we can ask you then directly after the round robin.
After round robin.
Yeah, then it's fine, but
To choose the color you want to
but
start.
we don't want to make at the day, so that everything is clear before.
Yeah, I think generally people prefer to start with whites
Yes.
in two-game matches. So I mean, if we're going to determine, I think it should be the opposite. But
It's up to you. If you tell me you can choose, we can also give white for the first game.
So if after the
We are
round
fine with
robin,
everything.
Yeah, after round robin, let's.
everybody says what he prefers.
I mean,
if
the
he's-
first four finishers choose which color they want to play.
It's
will you do the same for the semi-final and the final?
I think it's easier if you make one decision. You have white or you have black, and then it's
I think if after the round robin, every player, except the one on the 8th place, but every player makes a
No,
decision.
I think, and in final and semi-final, they reverse the colors.
Maybe you have two opponents that have the same colors. So I think either we say each player makes a selection of his favorite starting
No, the
color.
higher
The-
starter reverse.
Yeah, and the higher wins. So the higher gets his preferred color.
And then the next round it reverses. The higher finisher in the tournament, in the round robin, always changes the color of the first game.
If you want
fair
it.
enough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
Okay, but it can be that two are paired that have the same.
No, because in a round robin you have specific places.
Okay. In the second round, so in the first round,
The higher seed would change, and the other person, they would double it, that was the case. The
yeah.
lower seed would double it.
double it or not, because it depends what the lower seeded has in the round before. So if, for example,
No, the decider is the one who's higher rated. He always switches
Okay,
the
so
color.
if number 1 wins and he has white in the first, and number 4 wins and he has also white in the
Yes.
first, then in the second round, the number 1 starts with black and
Yes.
number 4 stays with white.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
Like in the Swiss stamp.
then
So you have to change the color.
That's-
The high
that's-
weighted is changing the color.
okay, then let's do it that way.
And we still have 1 through 4 picking colors, right? In the first.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Okay, then we will ask at the second day of the round robin when it is finished, the first 4, what are the preferred color. Okay. Okay, a few words on anti-cheating protection measures. Maybe you have seen it already at the entrance. We have airport scanners in use. So when you enter the tournament hall, you are asked to walk through these airport scanners, and you should not bring any electronic devices, watches, pens, and also no backpacks or other luggage. So then it will be smoothly to walk through the airport scanner. During the game, you can for sure stay here in the playing hall. You can use your player booth. There will also be a confession booth. We will see it when we walk around in a few minutes. The toilets are next to the entrance. There's a special sign, toilets for players only. You should use them. And not sure if we have smokers among us, but smoking is then directly outside the door. Okay, this is a picture of the playing venue, but I think we will experience our beautiful playing hall when we now walk around. Any questions so far?
Can I just add one thing first?
Yeah.
When you walk around, first of all, please tell us what you would like to have in your booth, right? So Fabiano wants tea, for example. What kind of water, if you want to have anything specific, and we're going to set it up for you specifically so that you feel most comfortable in your private zone. And then with the confession booth, there's no obligation at all, with anything. I mean, it's like only the rules, of course, but anyway, you're totally free. You are the stars, you can do whatever you want. But we would be very much appreciative if you could make this like at least once per game, like when you think you have done a very great move or a very bad move or something, and then you could just go there and tell the fans out there what's on your mind. I think that's one thing that we would appreciate.
Okay, any other questions?
Legal moves, what are the rules for legal moves?
That's the same rule as for normal draw. So in the rapid, there's for the first illegal move, there's 1 minute for your opponent, and the second illegal moves loses, and for the standard time, it's 2 minutes.
Can we go through the castling rules again?
Yeah.
Because we were giving this exercise by chess.com earlier today, where the black rook was on h8 and the king was on g8, and the white bishop is on h6.
Yeah, rook f8 is totally fine.
Yeah, so rook f8 is legal because it's not
Yes.
between the...
Yes.
The king does not move across the field. That is.
Yeah, so you're basically like, you're allowed to blunder your rook with the castling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, no, that's all I wanted to ask.
yeah, that's possible.
And let's say the king is on the king is on b8, and you're castling to h8 or to g8, and the rook is on h8. Then, if any of the squares in between are
Have to
attacked,
be- then you cannot castle.
then-
So it's a long way, but each of the fields have to be free and not attacked by any other piece.
So in normal chess, your rook can never be under.
Yeah, because you move
No.
always over the field where the
Yeah.
rook comes to the end,
Yeah.
so then you cannot blunder the rook.
and you cannot castle out of a check. This is
Yeah, that's for sure. For sure.
Wesley did that, right?
yeah.
But you can castle in the first move.
Yeah.
No, but once I blundered something like this, it was terrible against Sidder. My rook was on d1, his king was on c8. I thought I'm stopping his castle.
Yeah, of course not.
And he played rook d8 and
Also, let's say my king is on c1, rook on b1.
Mm-hmm.
Can I short castle with the rook on b1 or only the long castle? Like,
So the king is on.
let's say king on c1, rook
C1?
on b1.
no, you can only use that rook.
Uh-huh.
The king on c1 and rook on b1, rook b1 comes to d1, nothing else.
Let's
It's
say
a
And the
good
other
idea,
rook is for sure.
It's a good idea. Like you move the other rook
No,
and then you
because in
short
the,
castle.
actually in the puzzle I was trying to long castle with black. And then I was like,
But you
Uh,
can't because the king passes through the.
no, but even if it was possible, I think it's still illegal because the h8 rook.
It's the wrong rook.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the wrong
it's the
rook.
wrong
Yeah,
rook.
yeah, it's the wrong rook.
Wrong rook.
Yeah. So like you can only castle. Yeah, it's simple. Left if you're white, and right if you're black.
The C1 castling is
Yeah.
written with 3 zeros, and the G1 castling is written with 2 zeros, just for recording reasons. Okay, any other questions? Okay, then I think we will now demonstrate this high sophisticated device for drawing the lots, and who will moderate?
Okay. So now, as you obviously have seen that we have spared no cost and efforts to make this a show, right? So it's of course all about the game and the professionalism, but our idea, and I'm going to add to that in the press conference tomorrow a little bit more, is to really make chess more available to non-chess players. So my analogy was like the Formula One. You know, it's not watched by race drivers; it's watched by everybody. So it's like you don't have to understand how a motor works to watch the Formula One, and so you don't have to really understand how chess works. So we are trying to make it very much accessible. A lot of details that we have done. This is why we call it FreeStyle Chess and not Chess 960, and so because people can more relate to it. And one thing is also that we try to make every step of this exciting new game, which is like a little bit of transition from traditional volleyball to beach volleyball. We want to make also very much exciting. So of course we can say, computer, please tell us the number 518. By the way, we take this out because it's normal chess. So we're not going to play normal chess. You don't have to prepare because we're going to take the 518 and the other one where the queen and king is switched. We'll take it out before. And then the rest, so we actually have not a chess 960, we have a chess 958. And so we don't pick the numbers. So we actually, Thorsten, and thank you very much for doing this, he actually had this made, or it's specifically made for us, and we can show you a video of the production process. But this is a new device which is not been in existence so far, so it's completely new. And it has, of course, you don't see it from there, but there are 960 wooden balls in here, right? And so now we will ask you every time when the selection is made, the two of you, because it's a little bit more with muscle, we can't have the ladies do it, come to the ladies later, and then Torsten will show us, Torsten and I will show you in a minute, just pushing it here, and then the balls will fall down, and they will all go down and gather here in this round. So this is to make clear to everybody, all numbers are existing, they're all here, 380, 384, whatever, so it's all here. Now, what we are doing is we take out in the beginning, for example, 518, which is the normal chess, and to make it more fun, we replace it with another ball which has a Weissenhaus symbol on it. So in case this is drawn, by the way, I am paying 500 euros to youth chess in Germany. So that's that was the idea. So that's just, we have a joker. So that we have all covered. And also, we will, once we have played a position, it'll stay out. It'll not come in again. It'll be added by another joker. So you will not have the same position again in this tournament. Now we have everything in here. Now comes the even more fun part. We have spared no cost and effort, and we have got Miss Angola from the Miss Contest. She's doing the drawing every day with my wife Holly together. They're going to dress up very beautifully. They got a dress for every day, different dress. They're going to make a little ceremony to pick out the number. So that's going to be like something that's going to be rehearsed without me and Torsten, because we can't do it so well. But so just to, so now, just the forward to say that the first part is, and we wanted to demonstrate it just to show how it works, right, Torsten?
Right.
Okay, very good. So let's do it. So if you can take the microphone again.
So we have a left handle and a right handle,
Okay.
it pushes just 2 centimeters to the back.
Okay, we just push it now 2 centimeters to the back. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's it. And now we have, which is called the innocent hand, which is not me, but it's going to be Teresa or Holly. I think it's always Teresa doing it, but that's not going to be demonstrated today. Right? Was that it? Anything else?
Yes.
Okay, so now you can make it go. Thank you.
Okay, and now Sebastian will guide you through the tournament hall.
Just for the practical visit, we can show it now the tables and the chairs and also your booths. You see on the left side there are the 4 kings. There's a 4 older one, a very young group here, and we have the 4 jacks on the other side. So everybody has his own booth, and Jan already asked you that you tell us what you like to drink and some food. We have prepared one, for example, from Levon, that you can see what is possible, and but just tell us what you like to drink and to eat for everyone. And we have also there some sofa couches for some VIP guests, so don't be afraid. If there are maximum August 12 people, this 4 time slot is allowed here, so you are not really disturbed. And if you like, we can make a tour. I think it's much easier. Then you can also.
I still have to interrupt again.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just I get one idea after another that we have to introduce, because we went through all this like for weeks, so we have one idea after the other. So the crazy mind here works like this. Okay, now we have selected the booth and the king. So then we said, okay, why don't we really do a full card game like this? Okay. So we now have a card game. I'm going to give you. So you see, this is a So you're going to have a card game, each of you, and it's only the kings and the jacks are. Can you just distribute them to the players, please? There's a 7, somebody. So this is basically just for you to keep, but we'll produce some more. So that's the idea, is basically that that we have. This is a card game which is 4 kings and the 4 jacks, and the rest is a normal thing. And it's just a German. In the short time, we only got a German one. So B means Bauer, as Vincent knows. It means jack. Okay, so B is a J kind of thing. So this is like K. And so that's it. And so now we go even further with that. Now we have the cards, right? So tonight we have our first dinner. Tonight we have it in the Bootshaus, and you're gonna meet. Incredible person, like a world champion of his own. He's the best magician in the world. His name is Michael, and we met him in Saint-Tropez, and he was actually at our wedding, and he does incredible stuff. I can tell you, he will be all evening, and he will blow your fucking mind. I mean, he just put a bottle through a table, you know, like a glass bottle, while you are there, right? So something like that. And but he's has something. So that's. But as we have him anyway, because we needed a system, because when you do the round robin, as I understood, is that you need a certain number for a certain player at the beginning, right? So the important part tonight is that Michael will have some kind of a process, and I don't know how we are going. He's gonna assess numbers to you. So in the end, you have 1 to 8, so that you have the round robin setup, right? So that's the kind of his official position, but then he has some fun, and so. I think he's going to make some card tricks, maybe with this one or with some other. And then what we will also do is we have a lot of other games. So this is like, you can just take it home, we can have some more. We produce like, I think 50 or 60 or 80 or whatever. So we have enough. And my idea is because we have placement cards, you know, where you basically say you sit in the evening. So I put your card on the place where you are sitting, right? And what I would like to ask you, if you could be so kind and sign because then we collect those cards every evening, and then we're going to have select the person of the day who has done some extraordinary thing, or is like some achievement, not a player, but some other person, and he can then basically get the signed version by all players. Okay, so that's right. Anything else? Thanks. Sorry, but you see, we have so many things we have to tell you that you're not surprised. No.
No, he has so many ideas or reasons. He can much better explain than myself. So, but I think, please, you are invited to sit at the chairs, that we can make some preparation for tomorrow, that everything is fine. And with the lights, and also look at your rooms. Yeah.
You guys, yeah, you know the branches skills.